call for the commissioners, I see Leroy, Robert, Bill. I can see on the line is Steve, Eric, Mary, and Frank. The only commissioner that's not on yet is Ike. I assume he's going to join us in a couple minutes, but I can see everyone else is online. So we're going to try this again. Let's do a pledge allegiance to the flag. So I pledge allegiance
to the flag
To the flag
of
of
the
the
United
States of America and to the republic
which it
for which stands one
nation,
nation
under
under
God,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good.
bad.
We're getting better. I don't know if you, what's that? I don't know if you all got a chance to look at the meeting minutes. Does anyone have any, Leroy did look over them, but does anyone have any comments or updates to the meeting minutes? This would be from the July 12th meeting. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Okay, the minutes are approved. I don't see anybody on the line from the public, so I don't think we have any public comments.
This is Donald. I have a quick public comment.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I went to college with a girl who's a neonatologist now over at MUSC, and she sent me I won't read you the whole thing, a very disturbing email this morning saying she'd never reached out to people before, but that the COVID was so bad and they had never seen it like this, like it is right now. And they're having to do C-sections on younger patients who don't have the energy to give birth, and they're scared that after they do the C-sections, mothers are going to die. And she just said she feels like she's in the middle of the hurricane trying to tell people up the coast what's coming. And to please, you just urged me and a whole group of her college friends to reach out to anybody we knew to just beg people to get the shot and wear the mask and be careful. She said it's way worse now what they're seeing than they saw any time before. And so she asked me to pass that along, and I'm doing it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, we've been trying to talk to our family. It is frustrating to try and talk people into it when they have so much bad information. Ike, I did see that you joined us, and I did note you in the roll call. Any other public comments? Mm-hmm. Okay, Chief's report.
Okay, so we're back to this, but I think this was probably the best choice currently. We've had several positives of personnel in St. John's, some vaccinated, some unvaccinated, test positive. So Valerie has been checking back on them just to make sure that they're doing okay, if they need anything, or if their family needs anything. One of our firefighters who retired a couple of years ago, Jamie Bell, passed away on Saturday. Uncertain as to what the exact cause was, but he was only 51, 52 years old. And ended up, his mother said he wasn't feeling well for a couple of days, and ended up in the emergency room, and she got a call at 11:30 Saturday night asking if she was his mother, was that who they were talking to. It was the hospital staff just said to them, I have to inform you that your son is dead. And that was their notification. And so things are not looking bright and sunny as far as what's going on in South Carolina, but the family has asked that we provide firefighters for pallbearers for Jamie, and we are going to try and comply with their wishes to try and give him a semblance of a firefighter funeral. And obviously, there's many people still here at St. John's that worked with Jamie. He was actually in headquarters for a little while because he was on light duty. So everybody in headquarters had the opportunity to meet him, of those that were working before he left. So just a sad note, because his mother and his sister did come in today and make that request of us, and to the best of our ability, we'll try to help them out. So I did want to say that. There's a lot I have on the agenda. Currently at St. John's, the physicals are going on, the comprehensive physicals are going on between headquarters and Station 7. The audit started today, so they were in headquarters a lot of today. I did want to say that Chief Gilcrease is leaving. He took a position with another fire department. He's going to be a chief in Idaho.
Everybody says that so
I
far.
just like saying it. Idaho. Yeah.
Did we actually congratulate him?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're so
In
damn
Idaho. I don't know who's in Idaho.
I like that,
Idaho.
I
Yeah.
do.
And so we will be saying farewell to him next Friday. He will be his last day. So that being said, we also have a couple vehicles that we'd like to sell. We can go into details on that, but one is the old hazmat trailer and the other one is the old brush truck. We're paying insurance on it and it is kind of sitting there rusting away. We have some rescue tools that we want to also put on gov deals because we can't get them serviced anymore, and we've moved to a different type of tool that we can get serviced. So maybe somebody who's still using these tools that has their own service department or whatever, can better utilize these tools what we can't. So the NFPA 1403 structure burn fire training will be next week on site at the training facility at Station 5. We are having difficulty, like most of the rest of the world, with the supply chain of parts of anything for anything. It has taken us almost a month to get a windshield from Pierce up in Charlotte. All we keep saying is it's still stuck in Charlotte, a windshield from one of our apparatus. And so we're going to try to order a little bit to have some in stock, but everybody is having difficulty getting parts and equipment right now. It just unfortunately is what's going on. What else I want to talk about? I want to talk to you in an executive session about a purchase that we'd like to make with excess funds. I think it's probably, well, it's due for sure, but hopefully while we wait, it won't be overdue, that we're looking at. We have 3 firefighters we sent to recruit school. They started last Monday to South Carolina recruit school, and they will finish up in October, and then we'll put 3 more in after that. We've already tested them or whatever. We also have a list out right now for experienced firefighters. We did engineer testing last week. I didn't get to go over the exam results yet with our new training chief, but they completed that, and I was pretty happy. I didn't hear any major complaints or anything else, and that was probably the first time I haven't heard any major complaints. So on the testing process, so I was happy about that. Let me see what else. Put stuff in here so I would remember. We finally got a quote today on our Pierce apparatus, what we've been working on the specs for. I'll go over that again in executive session. And Oh, and last but certainly not least, last Friday morning, I got an email from the fire grants, federal grants, that St. John's was awarded a grant for over $600,000. Over 600 includes our portion of what it would be. So, but to train 20 firefighters to the level of paramedic. That grant would go over a period of span of 2 years, because they finally increased the training side of the grant program to 2 years. Most of the time they wanted you to accomplish whatever you got the grant for in 1 year. So this is spread out over 2 years, 20 individuals. And Dawn, I want to talk on executive session if there's anything that we can input in this language that would say that they would have to stay with St. John's for any length of time. I don't know how that will work, but of the people who are chosen in order to take advantage of this really great opportunity. I am really looking forward to adding paramedics to St. John's Fire District. I think it'll be a huge asset, obviously, to the whole district, but in particular, Kiowa, Seabrook, and Wamala, to have paramedics be able to provide that level of care while we wait for EMS transport, and or if we ever move in that direction. So that being said, I'll move on to Chief Gilcrease for stats.
That's how's everybody doing today?
Good.
So for the month
Right.
of July, St. John's answered a call 356 times. Johns Island accounted for 190 calls. Kiowa had 110. Seabrook had 32, and Guatemala had 24. As you can see down in the comparative analysis, we are basically right on top of where we were last July. So we're kind of, getting back into the groove and evening out. So we're just kind of, hoping that that trend continues. One thing that, again, our EMS responses were the highest, with the 58% of our response calls were for medical. So if anybody has any questions. All right.
Thank you. Chief Kunitzer.
Turn this.
Happy Monday, everybody. I'm over here somewhere.
I
Blurry.
unfocused you, sorry.
That's okay. So for the month of July, St. John's firefighters installed 12 alarms and checked 6 car seats. The only other thing I wanted to mention as well too is we were planning to have a whole bunch of events in October, which is traditionally Fire Safety Week and month. Obviously with COVID now, the numbers going back up, we're not quite sure what that looks like. So we're gonna have to come up with some more creative ways to reach our audiences, which we are working on. So we're just kind of keeping an eye on that before we can actually plan anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. I don't think I forgot anything, but I'll get back to you if I did. So that will be the end of my report.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
did we ever get updated bids on Main Road?
Oh, for the demolition?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Bill will go over that. I
Okay.
sent him the information today. We actually got the updated,
Abatement.
the abatement for the asbestos.
Asbestos.
Yeah, asbestos. And it was a little more expensive than the original company that quoted us. So when we got the updated quote, we sent that out to the 3 people who bid on the project so that they could adjust their bid to accommodate the additional costs that we know it will be. And the third party, which SM&E gave us a quote for that also. So I'll let Bill go over that. We were still waiting on another quote that was supposed to come in today. But of the 3 that we sent back up, we only had 1 returned immediately, and then 1 we were waiting on today, and I don't know if it ever came, so.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to comment on is to go back to paramedic related topics. It's interesting. I noticed Charleston County EMS ambulance has been on Johns Island a little bit more than what we have seen in the past, meaning that they're down there at the building on Betsy Carrison Park there. So I don't know if they're now, sending them back out to the islands instead of how they had been coming out of North Charleston, but I didn't know if some of the discussions that Kiowa and you've been having about ambulance services, if that's why they're sending them back down here. But just wanted to let you know I'm seeing it more.
Well,
Okay.
I'm glad, no, I'm glad you're seeing
Okay.
more. Deb. I hope it's not an empty ambulance just staged there. Because I can't tell you how many times, and just even the last week, that they have had all ambulances spoken for, haven't had anything to send for hours at a time. So,
Well, there is an extra vehicle there, like somebody came there and parked their vehicle to drive the ambulance. But yeah, I saw it moving once. It was coming down Bo Hickett, and then I saw it twice parked at the building. So somebody was, moving it, but I don't know. I just thought they might be trying to make the appearance that they're here a little bit more.
Yeah,
Okay, Ramona.
the chief has a good point, though. I've noticed that they do get called off of that area, and at times it does take a long time when they're needed to respond.
And I would imagine that we can get response information from the county, couldn't we, to see, the trend if it's getting worse?
I think Bill gets that information funneled to him still.
I do, and it'll be a month before I get updated information because I only get it once a month. So I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay, Ramona, the financial report.
All right, hello, everyone.
Well,
July,
happy Monday.
happy Monday. July has been pretty much quiet. We've been focusing a lot of our efforts on year end and the audit, but we'll run through July real fast. Our budget remaining goal is 91.67%. So we're at our goal at about 91.38%. Our operating balance is $7.5 million, which is about $2 million more than we had last year around this time. So I've been making sure that I'm watching our cash flow. But as you know, we do have a TAN in the event that we need some cash flow assistance. Of that 7.5 million, about $16,000 of that includes outstanding checks. Our LGIP account has roughly $11,000 in it. And then moving on to the revenue, we did receive the PGA reimbursement check that I mentioned last meeting, as well as our June property taxes. However, both of those were accrued back to fiscal year 21. As far as July's revenue, we've received about $6,442, and that includes donations and a windshield insurance reimbursement. Okay, expenses. I just kind of listed for July of individual line items that we monitor that have fallen below that 91%. They all have really good justifications. Typically at the beginning of the year, we do blanket POs for things that we have commitments for that go for the entire fiscal year. So we've done that. And I just kind of put little notes by the line items that may have fallen below that 91%. Another big justification is some of the things that we pay are quarterly, so that the percentages are going to be a little off. Overtime non-standard at the end of July was about $40,000. And moving on to capital projects, 16 and 17 bank balance is $0. And then the 2018 balance is roughly $849,000. We just paid a current application 18, and that pretty much chopped that in half. So I was glad to see that. And then the 2021 balance is roughly $1.9 million. As for the dashboard, a lot of the information I've mentioned already, but I'll go over some of the things I haven't mentioned. So for property taxes, again, it was June collections. It decreased by $46,000 from last June. However, were up by $537,000 compared to fiscal year 20. Okay, and then our COVID-related personnel expenses was $802 for the new year. And then our current staffing requirements, 1 officer and 10 firefighters. Some of the HR updates Chief has mentioned already. So 1 new injury, but no time missed. And then we have an employee on light duty from an injury from last year in September. And then the 3 firefighter recruits started on July 26th, and they're currently in recruit school until September 24th. And that's all I have, unless there are questions.
The only question I have, and you may not have this yet, is as you're closing the June 2021 fiscal year, and you may have to wait until the end of the audit because I know you'll have more adjustments, but in the executive committee meeting, I'd like to talk about a combined finance and strategic meeting before the end of the month to go over the bond balances and the tentative items that we have identified in our strategic plan. And to complement that, I wondered if we have the excess fund balance yet.
When is that meeting?
We didn't schedule it yet. I was going to talk
Okay.
to everyone about it. In fact, maybe we should just do it now because you obviously need to be a participant in it. Eric, I had mentioned before about having a strategic meeting, but I think it needs to be like a combined finance and strategic meeting. You also probably saw the email that we got back from Gary Pope and David Cheatwood. And, you know, at a minimum, we'd have to convert the ban into, you know, a bond issue. But what we need to determine before we can schedule a discussion with the 2 of them to, you know, redo our analysis is, you know, where we at in some of these strategic items. So I was going to cancel the September finance meeting. In fact, I'm going to be out of town from August 31st to September 10th. So I was going to cancel it anyway. But I'd like to move it up before the end of August to have this combined finance and strategic meeting so that we can figure this out. And we can wait, obviously, until after the auditors.
Yeah, because they're not even, we don't even get our packet from Charleston County to finalize our revenue until the first week in September. So they're actually here early because, you know, we normally have a 60-day window. They're here early. I think we'll be close, but as far as having a first draft with, you know, a possible fund balance amount to be added to what we currently have, I don't think we do. But our fund balance is healthy enough. If we wanted to meet prior, we could still plan with where we are.
Okay.
Our first draft is due to Charleston County by October 1st. I'll talk some more with the auditors tomorrow and email you an update, but I honestly don't think we'll have our first draft by the end of August because they didn't even get to do an interim where they come prior to year end and do half of the work first.
Well, from reading the email from Gary and David, it sounds like even if we started this whole process by the end of September, we'd still be okay. So do we want to just wait until the middle of September to have the combined meeting and then you may have the information by then?
Yeah, I think the middle of September is better than the end of August.
Okay. So what we'll do is in the September meeting, which is September 13th, we'll firm up a date then, you know, before the end of September for a combined finance and strategic planning meeting.
And don't forget, that meeting is supposed to take place at the new station.
I know, and I'm not saying that date, well, and we could just do it via email, but after the 13th, and that's another thing I have on my list is the dedication of Station 4, but after that date, and maybe we can talk about it now, but I know it's kind of rough to do this far in advance, but to have a meeting later on that week or the week of September 20th to have a combined finance and strategic meeting before the end of September. So I'll just solicit availability via email. Is that okay with everybody closer to September?
That's fine.
Fine, yeah.
Okay.
Or
Okay, we'll do that because I think if we commit to something now, we might, different of us have things come up and have to, change it anyway. So I'll just do that in September. Okay, no problem. Okay, Donald, attorney update.
Get my unmute off. Yeah, the only update is for now is that we have a mediation scheduled for the Howell and Howell controversy for September 17th. The mediator is Bonham Wilson, who I've worked with in mediation many times. He's really, really good. So I'm very pleased we're able to get him. And we'll be coordinating with the lawyers and keep you posted.
You said that's September 17th?
I think that's right.
I had September 27th.
Okay, let me double check. I might have written it down. Yep, hang on.
Okay.
You're probably right.
So
Let me look.
Yeah, I have Monday, September 27th, Station 6 mediation with Bo Wilson.
Okay, well then I just wrote it down wrong. I can't read my own writing. So yeah, probably 27th, but I'll double check and write it to you.
That's what I have as well, Donald.
Okay, well, so much for that report. Thank you, guys.
You were just testing us to see if we were paying
Right. You were paying attention too.
I try. And Bill was too. Okay.
And so that's all for now.
Okay, yeah, because we are going to have an executive session to go over some other topics.
Right.
So under old business, I had sent out another copy of the bylaws, and I updated it from our last meeting where the page numbers on the bylaws, page 5, I made an update that under the standing committees under finance, we have the finance committee duties include but are not limited to, and I changed the word preparation to review because we all agreed we don't prepare, the finance annual budget, we review it. So I inserted and I had it in red, I have review and I have crossed out preparation. So I wanted to point that out. And then on page 6, under compensation, I wanted to reconcile the compensation information with the information that we already approved on meetings where, if it's an emergency situation that the chief and I can announce, a Zoom meeting if it's an emergency, which obviously we're still in with this COVID. So what I did on page 6 under compensation, the very last sentence, I have audio, video, conferencing participation will be limited to a maximum of 4 times per calendar year unless emergency circumstances have been identified per Article 4 under meetings. So they're the only 2 things that I changed. Does anyone want to discuss these, or did you have a chance to review them and you saw other issues?
I'm fine with them.
Okay. Then I'd like to make a motion to approve the revised bylaws. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, I will change the red ink to black and note that it's been approved, and I'll recirculate it so you all have a clean copy that it's not highlighted.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Any new business? Okay, Bill, Building Committee.
Okay, 825 Main Road, as the chief said earlier, we are still waiting for updated quotes from the 3 folks, well, 2 of them, that gave us demolition bids originally. The updated quotes would include asbestos abatement. We do have 1 revised quote from TSIAC International, and I'd like to talk more about that quote in the executive session. And And we do have a quote for the asbestos alone from an asbestos company, or not a quote, an estimate from Environmental and Hazardous Solutions LLC, and we can talk more about that in executive session as well. Station 6, there's no change in the status. We're still waiting on the 3 items. Concrete apron repair, I'll say, because they already repaired it once and now they have to do it again because it wasn't done right. The civil engineer, Thompson Hutton, is working on trying to get that scheduled. And then the patio repair and the riser room floor assessment, we're still waiting for Choate to start that work. Station 4, we had a I don't know what I want to call it, a final inspection, but certainly a walkthrough last week. The architect has issued a punch list of several items there. A few things to note: the personal protection gear lockers are still on back order. They've been back ordered for some time now. Apparently, according to Choate, you can't get lockers of any sort anywhere right now because of the COVID issues. The fuel pump connection still needs to be done yet. There's an insert piece for the flagpole that's still on back order, so they can't put the flagpole in at the front of the building. Still waiting on a keypad, waiting on a delivery of the keypad. And then there's, of course, closeout documents after all that gets finished. So looks like we will have another building committee meeting, either at the station or by Zoom for Station 4. We're not quite done yet. And that's all.
So do we want to talk about September 13th would be our Fire Commission meeting in September, and we had previously talked about on that Monday, September 13th, of having it at Fire Station 4 for the dedication. Are we still a go for that?
That's up to the chief. As far as I'm concerned, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with that at all. Right now, there can get fuel at Station 6, or if they travel off of Station 6, so the fuel is not a big deal. They're there, the lockers aren't there, but that's about it. Everything else is basically in the station, right? I mean, so.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean,
Well, I know your team did most of the work the last time when we dedicated Station 6. I don't know, as commissioners, we were very helpful other than showing up. So I guess my question is there anything we can do to help prepare to have that dedication on the 13th, or what do you need from us? That's a question for the chief.
okay. Yeah, we have the guest list to review. I can send that to you if you want to take a look at that, it's the same people that we invited to Station 6, so.
Yeah, and I guess we sent something out on Kiowa. Didn't we let the folks on Kiowa know that we were having that dedication? I know some of my friends showed up, but it might have been because I told them about it.
We did an Evite that we can send, that they can put in the websites and, their news feeds for Kiowa and Seabrook. Yeah, basically the Evite was a picture of the front of the station and it was sent out.
Yeah, we sent that out to Kiowa and Seabrook.
Yeah,
for all of it.
Yeah, okay, so we'll do that again.
Yeah, the town blast, the Kiowa town blast would take care of that. I was going to announce it at the next public safety meeting, but the August meeting has been canceled. So, so the town blast should help with that.
Okay.
Yeah, the one thing we have to do is check on parking.
Yes, I was going to mention that. That's certainly an issue. I don't know.
I wonder if we can use if we can use the beach parking again, since it would be late in the day.
But there's no beach parking at Station 4.
Right.
It'd be the,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Maybe, maybe the cleaning facility. Yeah, have the resort allow us to use the laundry facility for parking.
I know I've parked on the road there, which isn't the best thing, but I've parked on the road when I've been over there different times.
It might be that parking lot might be available. Excuse me, since it's after hours.
Right, exactly. Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Chief Walls, this is Frank. Can I ask one quick thing?
Sure.
I don't mean to be the party pooper, but are we worried at all about public perception about having the dedication during the worsening pandemic? I know it'll be outside, however, there's going to be people going into the station.
That's a good point, Frank. I mean, I've been wearing my mask everywhere I go, but I've still been a little concerned, which is why we're on Zoom today of, even with my mask, of being in close proximity to people.
I think it's a good point.
It is a good point. Maybe
So
we
maybe
just
we ought to try.
I'm very worried, honestly. I just don't want to be the.
No, I hear you. Oh, remember when we scheduled this date, we weren't back in these high rates.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
And unfortunately, we're going the wrong direction, as we all know, numbers wise.
I think you're correct.
And I'm
Maybe-
afraid
Well,
a month from now.
Maybe if there's some way maybe if there's some way we can do it with masks and social distancing and all that, we can maybe discuss that in executive session or something.
What about a virtual opening?
Take a GoPro.
Yeah, give them a tour, a virtual tour.
That's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, Frank had told me that Roper's COVID unit was full, so that was what, Frank, a couple weeks
Yeah, and that
ago.
was several. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not sounding good.
Yeah, maybe a virtual tour then. If we can't have a grand opening, we could do a virtual. That's the way Gavin has to attend from Idaho.
I'm thinking that might be a better approach. Because I don't want to increase anybody's risk of getting, obviously here on Seabrook, we had someone test positive and they were vaccinated. So it's not just, and then, you've had that too. So I do think maybe that's how we sell it, is we're doing a virtual grand opening or a dedication due to the COVID risks that, maybe we could do something in person next year, but I think maybe we should be safe.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do it virtually then, and then we'll post it on YouTube.
There you go.
So,
Okay.
sounds like a plan.
Okay. All right. Finance. Did someone have something to say?
No, we said we were still going to order sandwiches for ourselves, but because we can't eat virtual sandwiches.
No, you can't. You could mail cake to us and it would be all smushed up when we get it.
Oh, we're talking.
Okay, on the finance committee, I was just going to remind everyone that Ramona is working with the auditors this week and they're going to be there till Friday. We already talked about scheduling a combined finance strategic meeting. We'll do that after September 13th, and that will be a Zoom meeting. I'm canceling the September finance meeting, so if you have that on your calendar, you can cross that off. That would have been on September 9th. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do a combined finance and strategic after September 13th. And we'll check, Ramona, I'll check with you and the chief to see, do we have enough information to make sure we can discuss. The reason I'm interested in the excess fund balance is how does that impact not only changing the ban to a bond issue, but do we need to request any additional funding to meet some of our strategic needs? So I think the first thing we have to do is figure out our strategic plan and update it. and then look at, what are our financial situations, the ban to a bond issue, what's the excess fund balance, and do we need any other additional bonds? I know Gary Pope and David Cheatwood actually had put the pact together, and they were not recommending we be overzealous until 2024. So we can talk about that more in that meeting. And Chief, looking at the strategic plan, I guess the question mark I have is I go back to Kiowa River, and I wonder if you could talk to your contact and find out, like, how many certificates of occupancy do they have right now, and what's their revised estimate in the next year or two of how they think things are going. I mean, the real estate's obviously booming here. I wonder how they're making out.
I think Ryan had got an update on that recently.
Yeah, we were just out there for, they recently just finished a kind of pool house amenity center. And we were informed that there's a little over 30 homes that are completed and people moved in. There is about 90 homes that are in various stages of construction. Now that's everywhere from, almost finishing to they're just starting foundations and things like that. But they are also starting the site work and prepping for a couple other future phases as well, which will be a couple other 100 homes. So they're slowly but quickly going up. So
Is our benchmark 300 homes?
200.
200?
Yep.
And I will say that they are, like I said, the amenity center out by the water is just finishing up, and they are moving forward with permitting. And I think they have their permits for what they're considering their hotel, which is actually several buildings. It's not your traditional hotel, but so there's quite a bit going on out there.
Did they give you a timeline for the 90 that are in process? I know they're in various stages, but did they say like end of 2022, they'd be moving ready, or?
No, we don't have that information.
They're still doing phases,
Yeah.
year phases,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, they still have quite a few phases. They've got like phase 2A, 2B, and then they move to 3, things like that. So I think they're in the middle of a couple phases right now, but again, too, they're struggling to get contractors just like everybody else is, and parts and
Right.
materials just like everybody else. So I think
Yeah,
that's
appliances, yeah. I read an article, and I forget where it was at, where this new development was, being built out, and they hadn't built any of the amenities. And then the developing company ran out of money. And so here these people were stuck where they moved into the neighborhood, and all the amenities that they were promised when they bought aren't being delivered, and who knows if another developer is going to pick up, the pieces and put it together. So there might be some hesitation in buying in Kiowa River until they see a little bit more of them building out their amenities to make sure they're going to keep their promises. So I would imagine it has a little bit of an impact on their sales.
it's got a nice view. So it's
Yeah, they just finished that pool, Ryan said, yeah. So. It's
Yeah,
got a
they're going to
nice-
have a boat ramp. Yeah, they're going to have a boat ramp. They're going to have more than one pool. They're going to have a boat ramp, and that's probably the biggest things developing. I mean, they were going to have ponds and that, but I think it was pools and the boat ramp that they were talking about. Okay. Human resource, I know we didn't have any meetings yet, Steve, but I think there was a discussion that the benefits committee was going to start meeting in the near future. Has that?
Yes, so I was remiss in getting with Chief in July. Chief, I did send an email about maybe later this month.
Yes, yep. Yeah, I believe you did send me an email, so you're gonna have to let me know what your schedule looks like for later this month.
I'll reach out to everyone, put some dates. I'll contact you, Chief.
Okay,
Get some dates that work, and then I'll reach out to everyone.
And that'll be a Zoom meeting, right?
Certainly will.
yeah. That'll work.
All right, and we already talked about strategic planning. There hasn't been a meeting, but we'll talk about that in September, and after September 13th, We'll have wait a second, my husband just turned on the TV. Thank you. We'll have a meeting in the latter part of September, a combined meeting. Okay. All right, public or firefighter.
Deb?
Yeah, Bill.
Deb,
Yeah.
just one other thing, something you just said there reminded me. With the maintenance building, gosh, now my thought just went totally gone.
Are you looking at the package? Was it the package that they're going to put together for us for bids?
Oh, yes, yeah, that's what it was. I've tried to contact Mr. Tupper. I started Friday trying to get a hold of him and did not get a call back from him on Friday. This morning I tried to call again and got another voicemail, left him a message. And a couple hours later, I sent an email to he and Nancy, who was the person that was supposed to be the project manager, and told them I had a meeting tonight and I would really like an update, and I did not get one. So just to let
Yeah, and they did warn us. It sounded like it was going to be the latter part of the year that the package would come out. But I do think in our strategic meeting, we need to talk about some rough estimates of what we think it's going to cost.
Right. Well, what all he's supposed to be doing right now is just putting together a price for him to do this work. And, you know,
do the bid package. Yeah.
Yeah, it's seems to be taking an inordinate amount of time just to put together a price for that.
Okay. Well, when you hear, if you can send us all an email, and we can kind of, you know, fold that into the strategic plan.
Yep, I'll do that.
We did have for the maintenance building, I think, my memory's right, I think we had earmarked like $5 million, which, yeah, we had earmarked $5 million, which I don't think that's going to cost that much. For main road improvement, if you look at Ramona's spreadsheet, we had still $250,000 that I thought we could use for the demo. And then the maintenance building, obviously, we'd pay for the bid package that they're working on, and then obviously the build, but I don't think we're going to need the whole $5 million. So we can talk about that more in our strategic meeting. But I think we realize that we can build something that will really meet our needs and not have to spend that much money. Okay, commissioner comments. Leroy?
Oh, glad to be here today. I'm in Florida at this hot spot. I'm having a lot of personal issues with family members, not COVID, but just strokes. So you guys, please talk to your family members about going and seeing doctors and changing their lifestyle and eating habits, and then stay safe. Thank you.
Sorry to hear that, Leroy. Eric, do you have any comments?
No comment.
Okay. Frank, do you have any comments?
Yes, just a couple quick things. First of all, Chief Wall's awesome work on the grant, the paramedic grant. As we all know, and hopefully the community is going to know quickly, getting paramedics on the fire trucks will absolutely save many, many, many lives on Guatemala, Seabrook, Kiowa, Johns Island. That is going to be a tremendous help getting paramedics to them on a fire truck, and much, much quicker. Well, fabulous news. Chief Gilcrease, thank you. Congratulations on the new job. Thank you for your dedication to St. John's Fire District and all you've done to help the district improve over your many years of dedication. Thank you, and good luck in Idaho. Just want to send my thoughts and prayers to firefighter Bell's family, and sorry for the passing of a young firefighter, and thank you for his commitment that he gave to St. John's for many years. And finally, just to piggyback on what Commissioner Blake said and earlier, and I know we've talked about it before about family members, both strokes, but also adding on just COVID. 61% of those over 18 being vaccinated, in my opinion, is totally unacceptable. 61% fully vaccinated. We should all be doing a better job. So if we can those of us on the phone, if we can get out there and kind of spread the word, we've got a lot of people on this call that know a lot of people. And if we can please increase that number so we can get much higher than a 61% fully vaccination rate for greater than 18, that we'll be in much, much better shape with the winter months approaching. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Ike, do you have any comments?
Yes, I'd like to say congratulations to Chief Gilcrease and on his taking the job there in Idaho, and also from Mr. Blake. I certainly understand what you're saying. If someone in your family that hasn't taken the vaccination or something, please just be straight up with them and try to convince them. And my condolences to Jamie Bell's family in the time of their grief. And also thank you, Chief, for that grant. Certainly having paramedics on the units is definitely a good thing here for all the barrier islands here in our district. And I'd just like to thank Deb and everybody else for the wonderful job we are doing. And I'd just like to put out there now that I'm available to help on any team now, strategic or anything. As far as me coming toward that maintenance building, I would certainly like to take part in those meetings. I'm available, and all I can say that I am available to help in any way I can. And other than that, thank you to give me this time to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Ike. Bill?
Congratulations to Chief Gilcrease on his promotion to chief in even if it is in Idaho rather than here. And good luck in your future endeavors there, Gavin. Thanks to Chief Kunitzer and his training officer from the Kiowa CERT team for putting together an AED training package for us a couple of weeks ago. That went very well, and several folks in attendance for that. And Chief, kudos on getting the $600,000 grant. I have been involved in getting some of those grants in a past life, and I know how tough that is to do, and it's even tougher to get one. So, yeah, kudos, and that's really something we're going to need, as Frank said.
Okay, Steve?
Thank you to Chief for everything you do in the district. Please stay safe. And Chief Gilcrease, congratulations. And let us know how you do in Idaho.
Idaho.
Robert?
Well, I'd like to say thanks, Chief Gilcrease, for everything you've done for us. And I think when you go to Idaho, you won't have to put up with the hot weather in Charleston. And Chief, getting the grant for the paramedics, I think is a game changer for all of us. And thank you. And we'll have to figure out not only how do we tie the trainees up so they don't get trained and then leave us, but we also have to figure out how to compensate them so they stay. And, with COVID going on, I just say to everyone, stay healthy, see the doctor when you need to. And that's it.
Thank you. Mary?
Thank you, Deb. To Chief Gilcrease, congratulations to the new endeavor. Pray that all goes well with you. To Chief, we thank you for your leadership. I heard about the grant. That's awesome work. So we give accolades to you and the Green Team. To Mr. Blake, I heard about the illnesses in your family. The prayers will begin to go up. To the Bell family, we offer our condolences and our prayers just as well. I say to each and every one of you, along with your family, let's stay safe. Let's stay prayed up. Thank you, Frank, for giving us that information, and let's keep it going. Wear our masks. Thank you so much, and be blessed, each and every one of you.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to congratulate Chief Gilcrease on his new adventure as chief in Idaho. I recommend you get some really good snow boots and a heavy jacket because the winters up there are a little nasty, but I wish you good luck, and it's a beautiful country. I'd like to congratulate the chief on the $600,000 grant for the paramedic training. That's quite impressive. And to have the opportunity to train 20 firefighters to move into a paramedic position, I think that's great. So I wanted to comment on that. And just to say, you know, everybody be safe. It's kind of scary how this Delta variant, now I understand there's a variant from South America that we're now getting people sick with, you know, the Delta. And at least if we're vaccinated, it's not quite as bad, but we still really need to be careful. So that's it. Any other comments? Okay, I piggybacked off of the chief's email that in addition to the Zoom meeting information, I repeated the executive section information. I can't talk tonight. And it's the same telephone number and the same access code that we always use. If anyone didn't see that email, I don't know what that was. If anyone needs that information, let me know, text me and I'll send it to you. We need to go into executive session to discuss some contractual items, as the chief mentioned, purchase, and to discuss the new Pierce engine, and then also talk about some type of an employment agreement for the paramedic training. So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn into the executive session.
So moved.
Okay. All those in favor,